大家好，我是 Jenny， 欢迎来到沉思者 J。 你有没有想过，一个从农村走出来的孩子，怎么可能成为改变台湾艺术史的人物？今天的故事就要从一个农家孩子说起，他的名字叫廖继春。1902年1月4日，台中丰原一个朴实的农村家庭，廖继春就在这里诞生了。父母早逝，家境清寒，这个孩子从小就懂得什么叫做艰辛，但他心里有一把火，始终没有熄灭。那把火就是对色彩的渴望，对美的追求，对画笔的深深迷恋。1918年，年轻的廖继春进入台北师范学校就读。那个年代，台湾还在日本统治之下，能进师范学校已经是很了不起的事了。他一边读书，一边参加日本函授学校的课程。就这样，他开始摸索油画的技法。没有老师手把手教，他靠自学，靠的是一股不服输的倔劲。1922年毕业之后，他回到丰原的公学校当老师。看起来这条路就这么走下去也挺安稳的，但廖继春不甘心只是安稳，他的心早就飞到远方了。这时候，一段爱情的故事插了进来。廖继春爱上了一位丰原乡绅家庭的千金，她的名字叫林琼仙。乡绅家门第高，廖继春出身农家，怎么可能配得上？但廖继春不放弃，他立下誓言，要去日本东京深造，要用本事来赢得他的心。爱情有时候真的是改变命运的力量。出发前，廖继春先到台北，进了田村画室，苦练素描基础，一笔一画，扎扎实实。1924年3月下旬，廖继春与另一位日后同样大名鼎鼎的画家陈澄波，两人同船出发，渡海前往东京。那艘船载着两个年轻人的梦想，也载着台湾艺术史里最璀璨的一段情谊。抵达东京后，廖继春顺利考入东京美术学校图画师范科。在这里，他受教于日本外光派画家田边治。外光派就是讲究在户外自然光线下作画的风格，追求光与色的真实感受。廖继春在这里打开了全新的视野，他发现光线可以这样画，色彩可以这样用，世界可以这样看。3年的东京生活是廖继春艺术生命的起点，他拼命读书，拼命画画，也在那里完成了对林琼仙的承诺。学成后，两人终成眷属。1927年，廖继春从东京美术学校毕业，带着满腔的热情与才华回到台湾。回台湾后，他在台南的私立长老教会中学与女校任教，也就是今天的长荣中学和长荣女中。在这里，他一边教书，一边继续创作。这一年也是台湾美术史上的大事之年，第一回台湾美术展览会正式开幕。廖继春以一幅静物画参赛，荣获特选，这是最高的荣誉。对一个刚刚回台的年轻画家而言，这是最好的起点。第二年，1928年，他的作品《芭蕉之庭》入选第8回东京地展。地展是日本最高级别的官方美术展览，能入选意味着你的画作已经站在亚洲顶尖的水平。廖继春办到了，从此他在台湾油画界的领导地位正式确立。1927年，廖继春与几位同道好友共同创办了赤岛社，这是台湾第一个以本土画家为主体的西洋画研究团体。大家聚在一起，切磋画技，交流心得，那种精神就像一群充满热情的年轻人，决定要在这块土地上种下艺术的种子。1934年，廖继春与陈澄波、严水龙、杨三郎等人共同创办了台阳美术协会，简称台阳美协。这个协会后来成为台湾美术界最重要的民间组织之一，每年举办台阳展，吸引无数艺术家参与。廖继春是核心发起人之一，他不只是画家，他还是台湾艺术运动的组织者。30年代的廖继春创作力旺盛，他走遍台湾各地，画下南台湾的风景，孔庙的红墙，安平的渔港，高雄的山峦。他的画有一种特殊的温暖，明亮的色彩，轻快的笔触，让人看了 心里暖洋洋的。这个时期，他的风格带有明显的野兽派色彩。野兽派是20世纪初的西方艺术运动，以大胆的色彩、粗犷的笔触著称。廖继春把这种西方的前卫精神融入台湾在地的景色与情感，创造出一种属于他自己的、属于台湾的风格。然后战争来了，2次大战的战火烧到了台湾，物资缺乏，生活困难。1942年，廖继春甚至曾一度代理省立台南第一中学校长。这位画家在最艰难的年代，不得不承担起更多现实的责任。战争结束了，台湾进入了新的时代。1947年，廖继春开始在台湾省立师范学院任教，这所学校后来改名为国立台湾师范大学。从此，他在这里一教就是几十年，培育了一代又一代的台湾艺术家。他的课堂是出了名的自由，他鼓励学生不要被框架束缚，要大胆尝试，要找到自己的声音。他自己就是最好的示范。1957年，廖继春支持并鼓励学生成立了五月画会。五月画会是台湾现代艺术运动的重要里程碑。这群年轻的画家接受廖继春的精神感召，走上了探索现代主义的道路。廖继春不只是一位画家，他是台湾现代艺术的推手，是点燃火焰的那个人。50年代，廖继春的画风逐渐演变，色彩越来越大胆，越来越饱和，鲜红、翠绿、明黄、深蓝交织在画布上，形成强烈的视觉冲击。同时，他的画面主题也越来越简化，他不再只是描绘眼睛看到的世界，他开始描绘心里感受到的世界。1962年，廖继春迎来了人生的重要转折，他受美国国务院邀请，前往欧美考察访问，长达1年。这是他第一次正式踏上欧洲的土地，他亲眼看到了欧洲各大博物馆的珍贵藏品，看到了抽象表现主义在西方艺术界的蓬勃发展。他在纽约，在巴黎，在伦敦，张开眼睛，张开心灵，吸收了全新的艺术能量。这趟欧美之旅彻底改变了廖继春的艺术方向。回台之后，廖继春的画风发生了质的飞跃，他开始更全面地拥抱抽象表现主义。粉红色大量出现在他的画布上，不是娇嫩的粉红，而是热情奔放的粉红，配上翠绿、淡蓝、鹅黄，那种色彩的欢乐感是廖继春特有的印记。有人说，廖继春晚年的画就像是一首写给台湾的情歌，热烈、明亮，充满生命的喜悦。1970年，廖继春在台湾省立博物馆举办个展，这是他回国后第一次大型个展。观众看到他的最新作品，无不惊叹。这位大师完全没有停下脚步，他在70岁的年纪依然在探索，依然在突破。他晚年的代表作包括1972年的野柳风景、1973年的舞狮、1975年的屏东港。这些作品笔触奔放，色彩鲜明，在似乎具象又似乎抽象之间游走自如，充满了一种天真的喜悦，一种无拘无束的自由。廖继春一生与台湾的美术教育相伴，在师范大学任教超过30年，他也曾任中国文化大学美术系教授。他的学生遍及台湾各地各个领域，桃李满天下，不是说说而已。他的贡献不只是留下了珍贵的作品，更重要的是，他留下了一种精神，一种相信色彩可以说话的精神，一种相信艺术可以自由飞翔的精神。1976年2月13日，廖继春在台北病逝，享年74岁。台湾失去了一位最重要的艺术家，他走了，但他的颜色留下来了。廖继春的辞世让整个台湾艺术界悲伤不已。教育部颁授褒扬令，肯定他一生对台湾美术教育的贡献。他的作品成为台湾各大美术馆的珍藏，台北市立美术馆、国立台湾美术馆都收藏了他的重要作品。1997年，廖继春的家属为了纪念他，捐赠了一批代表作品给台北市立美术馆，同时设立了廖继春纪念奖助金。 用来鼓励年轻一代从事油画创作与艺术理论研究的后进。这是一种传承，是大师留给后人最温暖的礼物。2026年，台湾的艺文界又掀起了一波廖继春热。国立台湾美术馆盛大举办特展，展览主题叫做红泥色彩乐师廖继春的艺术世界。这个标题形容的真是太贴切了，红泥就是彩虹，廖继春的画就是这样，有着彩虹一样绚烂的色彩，一样让人目眩神迷的美丽。为什么廖继春的艺术在今天依然如此动人？因为他的画有情感，不是冷冰冰的技术展示，是一个人对这片土地深深的爱，透过色彩流泻出来。他画台南孔庙，画的不只是建筑，是一种文化的记忆，一种历史的温度。他画野柳的岩石，画的不只是风景，是台湾大自然的生命力，是土地的呼吸。他晚年的抽象作品看起来只是色彩的堆叠，但那里面有他70多年人生的感悟，有农村孩子的倔强，有异乡留学的孤独，有看见欧洲艺术的震撼，有回到台湾后的解放。廖继春的艺术之路是一条不断突破自己的路，从农村到东京，从写实到半抽象，从半抽象到全然的色彩自由。每一个转折都是他不愿停止探索的见证。有一种说法，廖继春的画是快乐的。的确，他的色彩组合往往让人感到一种由衷的喜悦。那种喜悦不是刻意制造出来的，是从他内心深处自然流露出来的。一个在艰苦中长大的孩子，用色彩感谢这个世界让他活着，让他画画。廖继春，台湾艺术史上的一座灯塔，他的光照亮了许多后辈艺术家前行的路。五月画会的成员后来都成为台湾现代艺术的重要人物。他们说，没有廖老师当年的鼓励，他们不可能有勇气走上那条充满未知的现代艺术之路。这就是廖继春的价值所在，不只是他自己的作品有多好，而是他给了别人发光发热的机会。今天，当我们走进美术馆，站在廖继春的作品前，看着那些跳动的色彩，那些奔放的笔触，我们可以感受到一个人一生的热情。那个农村孩子的梦想实现了，而且远远超越了他自己的想象。廖继春的故事告诉我们，背景不重要，起点不重要，重要的是你心里的那把火有没有一直燃烧。廖继春让那把火燃烧了74年，燃烧过日治时代的风雨，燃烧过战争的苦难，燃烧过时代的巨变，燃烧到生命的最后一刻。他的色彩是他留给台湾最珍贵的礼物，红泥一样的色彩，诗一样的色彩，一首写给台湾的色彩乐诗。谢谢廖继春，谢谢您让台湾的天空有了最美丽的颜色。我们下次见咯。Hello everyone, I'm Jenny. Welcome to Thinker J. Have you ever wondered how a child from a farming village could become the person who changed the entire history of art in Taiwan? That is exactly the story we are telling today. His name was Liao Chi-Chun. January 4, 1902. Fengyuan, Taichung. A humble farming family. Liao Chi-Chun was born into this world. His parents passed away when he was still young. The family had very little money. But deep inside this boy, there burned a fire that never went out. That fire was a craving for color, a pursuit of beauty, a deep and unshakable love for the painter's brush. In 1918, young Liao Chi-Chun entered the Taiwan Governor-General's National Language School in Taipei. This was the era of Japanese colonial rule over Taiwan. Getting into a teacher's school was already a remarkable achievement. While studying, he also enrolled in correspondence courses offered by a Japanese school. That was how he began exploring the techniques of oil painting. No teacher guiding him step by step. He taught himself, driven by a stubbornness that refused to give up. After graduating in 1922, he returned to Fengyuan to teach at the public school there. On the surface, that path seemed perfectly comfortable and stable. But Liao Chi-Chun was not satisfied with just being comfortable. His heart had already flown far, far away. Then a love story entered the picture. Liao Chi-Chun fell in love with the daughter of a wealthy and respected local family in Fengyuan. Her name was Lin Chongxian. She came from a prominent family. He came from farming stock. How could such a match ever work? But Liao Chi-Chun refused to give up. He made a vow to go to Tokyo to pursue advanced studies. He would prove himself through ability. He would win her heart through dedication. Sometimes, love truly is the force that changes a person's destiny. Before departing for Japan, Liao Chi-Chun first went to Taipei to study at the Tamura Art Studio. He drilled his foundational sketching skills. Every stroke deliberate, every line solid. In late March of 1924, Liao Chi-Chun boarded a ship alongside another young man who would himself become a legendary artist in Taiwanese history. That man was Tan Teng-pho, also known as Chen Cheng-Po. Two young men on the same vessel, crossing the sea toward their dreams. That ship carried not only two artists but also one of the most luminous friendships in the story of Taiwanese art. Upon arriving in Tokyo, Liao Chi-Chun successfully passed the entrance examination for the Normal Education Division in painting at the Tokyo School of Fine Arts. There he studied under the Japanese plein-air painter Tanabe Itaru. Plein-air painting is a style that emphasizes working outdoors in natural light. It seeks to capture the true sensation of light and color in real-world environments. At this school, Liao Chi-Chun had his eyes open to an entirely new way of seeing the world. He discovered that light could be painted this way. That color could be used in ways he had never imagined. That the world could be perceived through a completely different lens. 3 years of life in Tokyo became the true starting point of Liao Chi-Chun's artistic journey. He studied with all his energy and painted with passionate devotion. He also fulfilled the promise he had made to Lin Chongxian. After completing his studies, the two were married. In 1927, Liao Chi-Chun graduated from the Tokyo School of Fine Arts. He returned to Taiwan with a heart full of passion and talent. Back in Taiwan, he began teaching at the private Presbyterian secondary schools in Tainan. These are the institutions now known as Chongyong Christian University's affiliated middle school and girls' school. He taught during the days and continued creating art during every available moment. That same year was a landmark year for Taiwanese art history. The first Taiwan art exhibition, known as the Taiten, officially opened. Liao Chi-Chun entered a still life painting and won the top honor, the Special Selection Award. For a young painter who had just returned from Japan, this was the most brilliant possible beginning. The following year, 1928, his work titled Courtyard with Banana Trees was selected for the 8th Imperial Arts Exhibition in Japan, known as the T10. The T10 was the highest-ranking official fine arts exhibition in the Japanese Empire. Being selected meant your work had reached the top level of artistic achievement in all of Asia. Liao Chi-Chun made it. From that point on, his place as a leading figure in Taiwanese oil painting was firmly established. In 1927, Liao Chi-Chun joined with several fellow artists to co-found the Qidao Association. This was the first Western painting study group in Taiwan centered on local Taiwanese artists. They gathered together to exchange techniques, share perspectives, and inspire one another. That spirit was like a group of passionate young people deciding they were going to plant the seeds of art in their homeland. In 1934, Liao Chi-Chun joined hands with Tan Teng-pho, Yan Shuilong, Yang Sanlang, and others to co-found the Taiyang Art Society. This organization became one of the most important private arts associations in Taiwanese history. Each year they held the Taiyang Exhibition, which attracted artists from across the island. Liao Chi-Chun was one of its core founders. He was not only a painter. He was also an organizer and advocate for the Taiwanese art movement. During the 1930s, Liao Chi-Chun's creative energy was at a peak. He traveled across Taiwan painting the landscapes of the south, the red walls of the Tainan Confucian Temple, the fishing harbor at Amping, the mountains near Kaohsiung. His paintings carried a special warmth, bright colors, light and joyful brushwork. Looking at them made your heart feel genuinely warm. During this period, his style showed a clear influence from Fauvism. Fauvism was an avant-garde Western art movement from the early 20th century. Known for its bold use of color and energetic, expressive brushwork, Liao Chi-Chun took this Western spirit of creative daring and fused it with the landscapes and emotions of Taiwan. The result was something uniquely his own, something uniquely Taiwanese. Then the war came. The fires of World War II reached Taiwan. Resources were scarce. Daily life became a struggle. In 1942, Liao Chi-Chun was even asked to serve briefly as acting principal of a provincial high school in Tainan. This artist, in the most difficult of times, had to shoulder far greater practical responsibilities than painting. But the war ended. Taiwan entered a new era. In 1947, Liao Chi-Chun began teaching at Taiwan Provincial Normal College. This institution was later renamed National Taiwan Normal University. From that point forward, he would teach there for decades. Generation after generation of Taiwanese artists passed through his classroom. His teaching style was famously free and open. He encouraged his students never to be bound by fixed rules or frameworks. Be bold. Experiment. Find your own voice. He himself was the living proof of what that attitude could achieve. In 1957, Liao Chi-Chun supported and encouraged his students to establish the Fifth Moon Group. The Fifth Moon Group was a major milestone in the Taiwanese modern art movement. These young artists were inspired by the spirit Liao Chi-Chun had modeled for them. They set out to explore modernism with courage and conviction. Liao Chi-Chun was not only a painter. He was the driving force behind Taiwan's modern art movement. He was the one who lit the torch. During the 1950s, Liao Chi-Chun's painting style began to evolve. His colors grew bolder and more saturated. Vivid reds, bright greens, luminous yellows, and deep blues. They wove together on the canvas, creating powerful visual energy. At the same time, the subjects in his paintings became more and more simplified. He was no longer only depicting what his eyes could see. He was beginning to depict what his heart could feel. In 1962, Liao Chi-Chun reached a pivotal turning point in his life. He was invited by the United States Department of State to travel to Europe and America for a full year of observation and cultural exchange. This was his first formal visit to European soil. He saw the great museum collections of Europe with his own eyes. He witnessed the explosive energy of abstract expressionism in the Western art world. In New York, in Paris, in London, he opened his eyes wide and opened his mind wide. He absorbed entirely new artistic energy on a scale he had never encountered before. That journey through Europe and America completely transformed the direction of Liao Chi-Chun's art. After returning to Taiwan, his painting style made a qualitative leap forward. He began embracing abstract expressionism more fully than ever before. Pink appeared in abundance on his canvases. Not a delicate or shy pink. An exuberant and passionate pink, paired with emerald greens, powder blues, and soft yellows. That sense of color-filled joy was the unmistakable signature of Liao Chi-Chun. Some people say that Liao Chi-Chun's later paintings are paintings of happiness. And that is truly accurate. His combinations of color have a way of generating genuine delight in the viewer. That delight was not manufactured or calculated. It flowed naturally from somewhere deep inside him. A child who grew up in hardship, using color to express gratitude to the world for allowing him to live and to paint. In 1970, Liao Chi-Chun held a major solo exhibition at the Taiwan Provincial Museum. This was his first large-scale individual exhibition after returning from abroad. Audiences who saw his newest work were filled with astonishment and admiration. This master had not slowed down at all. At the age of 70, he was still exploring, still breaking new ground. His representative works from his later years include Yellow Landscape from 1972, Lion Dance from 1973, and Pintong Harbor from 1975. These works feature bold brushwork and vivid, saturated colors. They move freely in the space between representational and abstract. Full of a childlike joy. Full of an unrestrained sense of freedom. Liao Chi-Chun spent his entire life walking alongside art education in Taiwan. He taught at National Taiwan Normal University for more than 3 decades. He also served as a professor in the Fine Arts Department at Chinese Culture University. His students spread across every corner of Taiwan and every field of artistic endeavor. When we say a teacher's influence extends far and wide, in his case it was absolutely true. His contribution was not only the precious body of artwork he left behind. More importantly, he left behind a spirit. A spirit that believes color can speak. A spirit that believes art can fly freely without limits. On February 13, 1976, Liao Chi-Chun passed away in Taipei at the age of 74. Taiwan lost one of its most important artists. He was gone. But his colors remained. The passing of Liao Chi-Chun brought profound sorrow to the entire Taiwanese art world. The Ministry of Education issued a commendation in recognition of his lifelong contribution to Taiwanese art education. His works became treasured collections of major art museums across Taiwan. The Taipei Fine Arts Museum and the National Taiwan Museum of Fine Arts both hold important works from his legacy. In 1997, his family donated a collection of representative works to the Taipei Fine Arts Museum in his memory. At the same time, the Liao Chi-Chun Memorial Scholarship Fund was established with support from the private sector. Its purpose was to encourage the next generation of artists engaged in oil painting and art theory research. This was a passing of the torch. The warmest gift a great master could leave to those who would follow. In 2026, the Taiwanese arts world lit up again with renewed attention to Liao Chi-Chun. The National Taiwan Museum of Fine Arts opened a major retrospective exhibition dedicated to his life and work. The exhibition was titled Rainbow Colors and Lyric Poetry, The Art World of Liao Chi-Chun. That title captures something truly essential about the man. Rainbow colors. Vivid, arching, breathtaking. His paintings are exactly like that. Colors as dazzling as a rainbow. Beauty that makes you catch your breath. Why does the art of Liao Chi-Chun still move us so deeply today? Because his paintings carry emotion. They are not cold technical demonstrations. They are the deep love one person felt for this land, flowing outward through color. When he painted the Tainan Confucian Temple, he was not merely painting a building. He was painting a cultural memory, a warmth that history holds in its arms. When he painted the rock formations at Yalu, he was not merely painting a landscape. He was painting the life force of Taiwan's natural world, the breathing of the land itself. His later abstract works may appear to be simply layers of color on canvas. But inside those layers lives the wisdom of more than 70 years of living. The stubbornness of a farm boy. The loneliness of studying far from home. The shock of encountering European art for the first time. The liberation of coming home to Taiwan with new eyes. The artistic path of Liao Chi-Chun was a path of constant self-transcendence. From a farming village to Tokyo. From realism to semi-abstraction. From semi-abstraction to complete freedom of color. Every turning point was proof that he refused to stop exploring. There is a saying that the paintings of Liao Chi-Chun are paintings of happiness. It is true. His color combinations almost always generate a profound sense of joy. But that joy was not manufactured. It was something that rose naturally from deep within him. A child who grew up in difficulty. Using color to thank the world for the gift of life. For the gift of painting. Liao Chi-Chun stands as a lighthouse in the history of Taiwanese art. His light has illuminated the path for generations of artists who followed. The members of the Fifth Moon Group went on to become major figures in Taiwanese modern art. They have said that without the encouragement of their teacher Liao, they would never have found the courage to walk the uncertain road of modern art. That is where his true value lies. Not only in how extraordinary his own paintings were, but in how he gave others the opportunity to shine. Today, when we walk into a museum and stand before a work by Liao Chi-Chun, looking at those dancing colors, those uninhibited brushstrokes, we can feel the passion of an entire lifetime. The dream of that farm boy came true. And it far exceeded anything he ever imagined for himself. The story of Liao Chi-Chun tells us something important. Your background does not matter. Your starting point does not matter. What matters is the fire inside your heart. Whether it keeps burning. Liao Chi-Chun kept his fire burning for 74 years. It burned through the storms of Japanese colonial rule. It burned through the suffering of wartime. It burned through decades of social upheaval. It burned until the final moment of his life. His colors are the most precious gift he ever gave to Taiwan. Colors as radiant as a rainbow. Colors as lyrical as poetry. A lyric poem of color written for Taiwan and for all of us. Thank you, Liao Chi-Chun. Thank you for giving Taiwan's sky its most beautiful colors. See you next time.